On today's show,
we discuss the Raptors' impressive Game 3 win, whether the Warriors can recover, and the Lowry fan incident.
Lee joins us from the Bay, where he gets fans to trash talk Drake.
And Paul Pierce reveals the truth about why he needed a wheelchair in the 08 finals. Or did he?
It's Thursday, June 6th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis, and over yonder, well, that's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby. Hey, yo! All right, let's get right into it. On tonight's show, we're going to talk to Lee Ellis live from Oakland. We got to break down today's Nets-Hawks trade, but first, a little true or false fun with Game 3 of the NBA Finals. TK, take it away.
Heading into Game 3, we knew Kevin Durant wasn't going to play, but Klay Thompson was another story, as his strained hamstring had him listed as a game-time decision. Well, at game time, the Warriors decided not to play Klay, hoping Steph Curry could get a win single-handedly. ESPN's Brian Windhorst called it a calculated risk after the loss. So, guys, true or false, the Warriors punted Game 3?
Absolutely not. To say that would really diminish what the Raptors did out there. They went in there and they stole Game 3. Their first NBA Finals game on the road was successful up and down the roster, and it was almost unprecedented what they did, getting 106 points from their starters, shooting 50, 40, 90, something that's only been done 3 times in NBA Finals history since they adopted the three-point line. They kicked butt, and I didn't think this was going to happen when we sort of knew that Klay Thompson was a gate-tie decision. I didn't think the Raptors would be able to put this performance together. This was their night. To say anything but is not giving them enough credit.
100% agree. Klay Thompson could have played in this game last night, and the Raptors still would have won. You got to lock that in. Honestly, because they played that great. You can't find me one Raptor that had a bad game.
Norman Powell.
Well, Norman Powell played 6 minutes. Okay, I'm talking about the 7 guys that really played.
Yeah, 106 points from their starters. That's impressive.
And they definitely didn't punt this game. The Warriors, I mean, they would have liked Klay to play. I get that. They were trying to protect him, I think, from himself a little bit. They don't have KD for Game 3, of course, last night. They're not going to have him for Game 4. Raptors fans are excited about that. But Steph Curry, he single-handedly tried to do this. He played 43 minutes in this game. They went for it. Even when there was a bit of a lead there from the Raptors somewhat late in the fourth quarter, they still stuck with him, Curry did, in terms of Curry, of trying to get back in this game and trying to get this Game 3. It was unbelievable, the 47-point, of course, career playoff high from Curry, leading the team in rebounds and assists and steals as well. It was a bit of a one-man show. But, you know, we watched enough basketball. One guy is not going to beat 5, 6, or 7 other guys that are performing on the other side of the floor for the Raptors. So I'm 100% with you. There was no punting here. This isn't football. They tried to win that game, and the Raptors just had put together a masterful performance.
If Lee Ellis was here, maybe he'd have an AFL analogy,
it's
but
possible.
I do not have one. No, they went and grabbed it, undoubtedly. Yes, the starters, when your lowest starter has 17 points, that just shows you what kind of team that you have.
Yeah.
And I said I doubted them going in. I'm going to keep doubting them until they get 4 wins because I've never seen a Raptors team like this before. They came in and showed that they are absolutely for real.
Yeah, I think what I saw a lot of people saying the only way the Warriors were going to win this game when you knew there was going to be no Klay in there was they were going to have to sort of get one of these iconic performances from Curry. Well, he gave them that. I think what was lost was they had to do this with defense. If they were going to beat this Raptor team last night in Game 3, they were going to have to do it with defense. And you know, credit to the Raptors, hit a lot of shots, a ton of threes, 17 threes. Danny Green, 6 of them. Kyle Lowry, 5 of them. Everybody was contributing there. But you had to get some stops. You had to get your defense set up and get some easy buckets going in transition as well. You knew Curry was going to have to do the heavy lifting, but you were going to have to get some other performances from your Cooks and your McKinneys and stuff like that. But they couldn't because they couldn't get a lot of stops. That's where they really lost this game to me. And Draymond Green talked about it. He knows he's got to be better. He said the same thing after Game 1. He was in Game 2, and he's going to hope to do that again in Game 4, and I know we'll get to him and his confidence with this series still. But yeah, again, doubling down on the idea, even if Klay plays and he's 75, 80% in Game 3, I still think the Raptors ultimately win this game. I think you would take some points away from Curry. They'd probably go to Klay, and still you have a similar result. His defense sure was lost because he had done a decent job when he was matched up on Kawhi, who had a very quiet 30 points. But yeah, this was, I don't think it would have really truly mattered outside of KD playing for the Raptors' performance last night.
Defense is the real story with this Warriors team when we look back, you know, if they do lose in this finals against the Toronto Raptors, because they just haven't been very good in this entire playoffs.
Yeah.
in comparison to their 4 finals runs, they've given up 120-point or 120 defensive rating 5 times this year, and they did that 4 times or 5 times over the last 4 years. Way too many numbers for me right now. I made a mistake.
Hold on, let me give it that.
Yeah, no, I don't
the
know
defense
why I
is
brought
not as
that up.
good. The defense is not as good.
It's not good whatsoever. One thing that I thought was very cool was Nick Nurse at halftime, even though they're up 8, he decided to take Danny Green out of his starting lineup for the second half and insert Fred VanVleet to go at Steph Curry. And Steph had a great game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, really. He slowed down a bit in the fourth, but that was a nice little tactic. Even though they were up 8, he realized they weren't getting anything from anybody else. So if we slow down Steph, this is our game. And it really did work out. That was a cool move.
Trey, next one.
Warriors are down 2-1, but after Game 3, Draymond Green was still feeling pretty good about his team.
We just got to continue to battle and win the next game, go back to Toronto, win Game 5, come back to Oracle, win Game 6, and then celebrate. Fun times ahead.
True or false, Draymond is too confident about the Warriors' chances.
Too confident?
Fun times ahead.
I'm going to go with false. I think Draymond Green would be that confident if the Warriors were down 3-0 in this series. Draymond Green may be that confident if they lost the finals. He would just call up somebody else and say, hey, you should come play with us next year. No, this guy, he oozes confidence. That's why he's as talented as he is. They're in a tough spot here, though. Don't get me wrong. Because the Raptors now, when I look at them going into Game 4, we know KD's not going to be playing. Klay's going to be back, but how limited will he be? But the Raps are sort of, in a weird way, playing with little house money here. There's not a ton of pressure on them to even truly win that Game 4. They're obviously going to want to go get it, I get that. But they could play a little loose, which could help their chances. Maybe those threes keep dropping. But, yeah, no, Draymond Green, this is what he does, right?
But still, it's overconfidence.
What, winning in 6?
Yes.
Winning 3
yeah,
straight?
predicting that they're going to win 3 straight.
He was smiling a little bit there.
Sure, Draymond's always, but what about that defensive rating number I tried to spew out?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Draymond, 120 points defensive rating. What does it even mean? I think it's a little bit of overconfidence because they got slaughtered up and down the lineup. You know, Draymond Green was outplayed by Pascal Siakam. Marc Gasol outplayed DeMarcus Cousins. Kawhi outplayed Andre Iguodala. Danny Green outplayed Sean Livingston. Yes, Steph outplayed Kyle Lowry somewhat. Fred VanVleet was the best player off either bench. So if you look at that and then you say, well, maybe Klay's not 100% in Game 4. If Steph has an off night, DeMarcus Cousins not looking like that all-star we saw coming to light in Game 2 with that performance. There's plenty to worry about if you're the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, especially when you get into DeMarcus Cousins. You said Marc Gasol outplayed him, and I thought the Raps did a good job of attacking DeMarcus Cousins here in this Game 3 after a great Game 2 from Cousins. But they put him in space, they put him in pick and rolls, and Cousins, he just looked very, very limited. And it makes sense. The guy's played 3 games over last couple of months because of this quad injury. You can't expect a big giant like that.
He had
to be
Trey
killing
Kirby
it
hops out there last night.
Yeah, he looked hindered. So will that continue in Game 4? Like, he's a big question mark because we don't even really know truly what type of Klay you're going to get. You expect him. There's no minutes restriction. You expect Klay to hit shots and try and give it his best on defense. The guy wanted to play in Game 3 for crying out loud. But Cousins is the big question mark. He's got to give them something. He can't lose in a sort of one-on-one battle against a Marc Gasol or a Ibaka. He can't get slaughtered at least and played off the floor like he was in Game 3.
Right.
Trey, our final one.
Strange moment in the fourth quarter of Game 3 when Kyle Lowry went flying into the first row. Fans got back onto the court screaming about being pushed by a fan, which upon review totally happened. And which upon review, the fan turned out to be Warriors investor Mark Stevens, who today was banned from the rest of the finals, the entirety of next season, and fined $500,000. Guys, true or false, Mark Stevens should have been banned for life.
I think that should have been his most lenient punishment, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I had to watch that several times and from the overhand angle many times because I didn't see anything happening with where Kyle Lowry ran into the crowd. You know, it was 2 seats over.
Right.
You can't have this person representing your organization. I think if you were going to be far more harsh about it, he should divest his investment in the company. That's what would be the harshest. I think the most lenient would be banning him for life. And I understand it's a bit of a slippery slope and not allowing, forgiveness if you're just going to ban people for doing whatever they want. But banning him for life and taking him out of those seats for life and leaving him and having him keep his investment, I think would be the gentlest, the most lenient. Has he never been to an NBA game before?
Yeah,
People jump players jump into the stands.
Yes,
it does happen.
especially in the finals when every possession actually matters. No, I'm with you. I think this is true. Look, we saw Jazz fans get banned for life for words, verbal assaults to Russell Westbrook. This was a physical assault. He put his hands on the player. I mean, they're both wrong. Verbal, physically, they both should be banned for life. So he gets off a little scot-free to some extent. I know it's a lot. He's not going to be there for the finals. He's not going to be there next year in the new arena, and it's going to cost him some money. The guy's a billionaire. But yeah, he did. He got off a little easy.
Yep.
But shout out to the NBA for at least acting swiftly on this, for sure. When we come back, Lily joins us live from Oakland. Back with the starters, joining us live from Oakland, where I guess it's very, very sunny out. It's Bob McCowan. I mean, Lee Ellis. Lee, what's up?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, cool
Good,
shades, man. Looking sharp.
Island.
Yeah, it's a little bright here, so that's why I've got them on. A little blustery too, but not quite as cold as it was this time last year.
Okay, great. Well, look, let's get into Game 3. You're at the game. You're in Oakland, as I said, but there was a lot of Raptors fans there, and they all sort of congregated together after the game. How many Raps fans were there, would you say?
Well, there was definitely a few thousand spread out around the arena, but after the game, what was really incredible was just how they all got together and started chanting, "Let's go Raptors," and it was honestly as loud after the game as it was at any point during the game. It was really an incredible moment. And then, of course, the biggest Raptors fan of all time, Nav Bhatia, came along. They sort of stopped, waited for him to get up the stairs. He came in there and they all started going again. And then they started singing "Oh Canada," and it was unbelievable. I'm not even Canadian, as you guys know. I was taken away by the moment. It was just a beautiful thing. And the Raptors fans in full voice. Like, I've been fortunate to go around the world and to watch soccer games live in person, and that's where crowds really sing. This was just as impressive and just as loud and passionate. It was a really exciting moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool moment that we're seeing there. You had a chance to go to Media Day today. Did you talk to any of the players?
Yes, I did. I caught up with Pascal Siakam, the star of the Raptors, who's been playing fantastic basketball. And, you know, he's got quite a unique journey from where he came from to where he is now, because he only started playing basketball 7 or 8 years ago. So I asked him who his favourite player was growing up and who he was trying to be like, and his answer was really fascinating.
In terms of NBA, I didn't watch like anybody, to be honest with you. There's nobody that I watched that I wanted to be like. Just growing up playing soccer, I always go back to the soccer players, Gigi Drogba, Samuel Eto'o. Those are the people that we kind of looked up to, and those are the guys that coming from where we come from and was able to make it big and be in a big stage and every night perform at a high level. So those are the people that I would say I looked up to mostly growing up.
You're in the running for most improved player this year, but you have already won the starters most improved earlier this season.
I did get the gift for that. Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, I received that. It's somewhere.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Do you know where it is? Is it pride of place on the mantelpiece at home?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere. I think my brother would know better where it's at, but I think it's there. It's somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere. My brother threw it in a shoebox to never be seen again. That's great, though. Thanks to Pascal for talking to you. Look, Lee, we know all about the Raptors' passionate fan base, watching them, get together and watch games in Jurassic Park. But have you had a chance to talk to Warriors fans outside the arena down there?
I certainly did. Yesterday before the game, I went out onto the concourse and spoke to Warriors fans, about the Raptors' controversial global ambassador, Drake.
Drake was a big feature of the first 2 games.
Yeah.
If he turns up here tonight, how would you heckle him?
I'm going to dance off against him. I'm going to do his dance.
Show us.
Okay. I don't know how to do that. Drake, go back to your town. You're in the new city, the Bay, and we're going to bring it tonight.
I like what Clay's rolling with, calling him Aubrey. I think that's got to be the go-to.
I'm going to slap Aubrey upside his head. No, just kidding. I'm going to tell him it's going to be a long flight back home to Toronto with this L that he's about to take. Maybe he can listen to Highline Bling or something on the plane.
You used to call me on my cell phone when you used to be a bandwagon Warriors fan. Now you're a Toronto fan. I know you're from Toronto, but you bandwagon all the way.
Listen, Aubrey, you're in the 5-0 now, right? Yep. And it's very different than what you're used to in LeBronto.
Yo, man, get the hell out of here. Yo, we're coming for you. No Drake music tonight, Get out.
more attention you pay to him, the more he's just going to do it. So just ignore him. That's my thing, yeah.
What happens if he sort of sees Steve Kerr there and he tries to give him a massage?
Oh my God, that's too much.
What would you say to him if he did that?
Get out.
I don't want to say, man. I might get ejected, man. I might throw a Pepsi bottle at him or something, man. I'm not going to do that.
I don't know if I could say this.
Let it fly, man. We're not live.
You, Drake. I don't actually listen to Drake, but I will watch him at games.
Raptors fan don't even listen to Drake. Your fans don't even listen to you. You know what I'm saying?
First off, I would probably say that we're going to kick his ass tonight and say Toronto's trash. But I'm not going to lie. I'd probably ask for a picture. I mean, he's Drake.
Yep, facts. Facts from that kid. All right, Lee. Yeah, it looks like you had some fun out there. You're shaking your head.
Yeah. It was the younger kids who really let it fly. They didn't hold back at all.
Oh, thank God we weren't live. All right, before we let you go, Lee, we gave you a Game 3 challenge, and that was to find a celebrity and take a selfie, similar to what Trey did in Game 1. He got Drake. How'd it go for you last night at the Oracle?
Not too good. Not too good.
Oh,
I was flying high. I was flying high going into last night after what happened the night before at the Media Jam tournament.
Yes.
And when I saw Beyonce was in town, I thought, you know what? I'm going to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
So I started stalking her because there's an area where the celebrities go, and I thought, okay, she's maybe just walked past here, and now I thought I'm probably not going to be able to get up to her, right up to her and get a selfie, but I thought maybe if I see her and I can get her in the background, that'll count. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't quite find her. She was like a ghost when she wasn't in a seat. No one knew where she was. I even had some of our social media team helping me out trying to stalk her. We were all like, where is she? Where is she? And she was not in a seat, and then all of a sudden she was in a seat, and we don't know how she got there.
Okay, now, who did you get a photo with?
Right, well, the story keeps going. So I had a backup plan. I saw Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers there, and I thought, okay, Anthony Kiedis, he's huge. And I saw him, and I stopped him, and I said, hey, Anthony, my name is Lee. I'm from The Starters, this NBA TV show. And one of the challenges I have is to get a selfie with a celebrity, and I was wondering if you'd be kind enough to do that. And he looked at me, shook his head, and said, I'm not your man, guy. And I was like, whoa. But that just proves what I said on the Drop podcast about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, not a lot of crowd participation, you know? So I sort of think that's technically a win because he didn't do it, which is on brand for Anthony Kiedis, but I did end up getting a selfie with the very kind security lady there at the Warriors. Her name is Jeannie. She was there while I was just stalking out all these celebrities, and she didn't tell me to leave at any one point. So, you know, I didn't quite succeed, but I don't think I failed this challenge either. I think I got something out of it anyway.
All right, Lily.
Anthony Kiedis, listen to the show, guys. That's a bonus.
All right, love you, Lily. Enjoy your night off. Go hang out with Jeannie. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Nets-Hawks trade and the Paul Pierce poop gate. Oh, my goodness.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Into the up-down report, and the first one, you should put down the toilet seat. On NBA Countdown last night, Paul Pierce revealed that his infamous wheelchair incident from Game 1 of the 2008 Finals was really about him having to go to the bathroom. The poop theory was true. There he is, getting wheeled back, but a few hours later, the truth. He took it right back, tweeting, sorry to bust y'all haters' bubble, but the only poop emojiing I did on June 5th, 2008 was on the Lakers. Hashtag facts. Hashtag haters gonna hate. Oh my goodness, I'm asking this. Up or down on the Paul Pierce poop story? Thumbs up, thumbs up.
No.
Own
it, Paul Pierce. What's with the tweet afterwards? Just say you did it. be a legend.
I just like the idea of him playing into it at all. I wish he would have gone along with it longer.
Yeah.
That being said, I definitely think it happened. Now
Me
that
too.
he brought it up,
Me
every
too.
joke has a kernel of truth. I don't like to be talking kernels right now.
Yeah.
I don't like to be talking kernels. It just slipped out.
Now we gotta check to see what he ate the night before, see if the kernel of truth was there. All right, next one, guys. We got ourselves a trade. According to Woj, Brooklyn is trading Allen Crabbe and the 17th pick in this year's draft, plus a protected first in 2020 to the Hawks. For Taurean Prince and a 2021 second-round pick. The move clears $18 million in additional cap space for the Nets. Guys, are you up or down on this trade that just came out of nowhere, this Nets-Hawks trade? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up.
Yeah, very weird to get a trade in June. That's a thumbs up right away, but I actually think this is a great move for both teams. The Nets are getting a solid player in Taurean Prince that their player development staff will probably make even better than he was here in Atlanta. Also saving $18 million in a huge summer for them where they're trying to put Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant next to each other. For the Hawks, they get 2 more first-round picks, a 39% three-point shooter, and Allen Crabbe's contract expires next summer. It's great for both teams.
Yeah, the Hawks are really building for the future. That's got to be exciting for Atlanta Hawks fans. It's got to be exciting for every NBA fan out there that the Nets are joining this fray of teams with 2 max slots.
Yeah.
That is very, very, very entertaining for everybody. And they're probably going to do something with it. I don't doubt that front office to land a big fish out there.
Yeah, I mean, they could have the space for 2 max spots. Depends what they do with D'Angelo Russell,
Right.
of course. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very exciting offseason, I believe. All right, final one. Kawhi Leonard, he was locked in during Game 3 last night. And that laser focus, it started in the pregame tunnel when Kawhi refused to dap up Raptors teammate Norman Powell. Yeah, he saw the fist, made some eye contact, and then he just sort of pointed. We're going that way, Norm. The up or down on Kawhi, sort of refusing the Norman Powell fist bump. I mean, that's what I'm calling it. Thumbs up. Okay.
He's trying to win a championship, Trey. Laser focus. Did you see what he did out there? They had a great game because of this laser focus. This leader.
Look, he reaches for the pound right there, and then he switches to the finger
Yeah.
point. That's what I don't like. Just give him a gentle bump. We had that study a few years ago that the most successful players are the guys that touch each other out on the court most often. Steve Nash was the guy giving all the high fives. A simple fist bump goes a long way.
I think he acknowledged it by saying, "Hey, Norm,
I see your hand.
I see your fist bump, and I raise you a playoff win. Let's go out there and do this." Norman Powell didn't score a basket. The only guy who's
His confidence was shattered in the pregame.
There's a reason. I agree. Yeah.
Let's hear from you guys. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters, thumbs up or thumbs down on the poop story, on the trades, and on the fist bumps and all the fun. When we come back, TK's got a very solid play.
Oh, it's a good one.
This is our quickest turnaround of the NBA Finals schedule. We got Game 4 on Friday night, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Raps lead 2-1. Still sounds crazy to say out loud.
Crazy.
2 games away from an NBA Finals championship. All right, Trey, you got the very solid duty here. Oh, very unsolid.
That's right. Skeets, everything went the Raptors' way last night. Even this play where Kawhi Leonard nearly turns it over, nearly travels, somehow gets to the Fred VanVleet. He just chucks it up, and it's a swish bomb. That's almost a turnover. That's almost a turnover. That's a heave. But that's a swish bomb, and that's what I call a very unsolid play.
Very, very weird. We recorded a new drop podcast for you earlier today. It's up. Go download that bad boy. We discussed Game 3 in great detail. Got into Kyrie Irving's free agency plans. This was before we knew the Nets-Hawks trade, and a whole lot more, so go catch the drop podcast. That's it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow back at 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us tonight. And remember, this lovely lady, Jeannie the security guard, is the biggest celebrity Lee Ellis has seen in California.
Embrace the night, people.